Actually, good afternoon. It is exactly 12 noon right now, and I am live. So I'm headed back to LA from San Diego. Out here doing some work.
Please proceed to the highlighted route.
Taking care of some business. I like San Diego. I like all of California. California Uber Alice. Couple of drop a couple of nuggets while I'm headed back, because I got time like that. A lot of things going on in the manosphere. YouTube, on the internet world right now. A lot of division happening in the community, and so I wanted to kind of rap about that a little bit. Everybody's getting so polarized nowadays. Everybody is so intimately connected to their political slant that it's getting pretty rough. You know, I thought after the whole ball during the 2020 election that things would have settled out, but they haven't. They haven't. The black community is more divided than ever. I think there's a little bit of resentment among my leftist liberal brothers in that they are does something. I tried not to be the country or ascertain motivation for what they think or for believing what they believe or for doing what they do. I won't do that. But of course, we all have opinions, right? A lot of these beta boys, a lot of these FD signifiers and Ibmores, and a lot of these brothers who have resigned themselves to having a lower echelon of manhood on basis of our race, they seem to be kind of resentful.
Hi there, I'll be right with you.
Alrighty. And so they end up getting an attitude, right? Well, that attitude.
What can I get started for you?
Yes, give me a large cookie crumble today.
Got it. Anything else?
That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I don't know. It seems to me like it's a combination of having the emotional, effeminate characteristics, which way too many black men have, as a result. Just having the emotional, reactionary mindset, or just such a deep level of self-hatred that they cannot seem to communicate with other people, other men, other black men in specific, with any level of respect. I mean, they can't. It's like a conventional Klingon. You know, it's like everyone is so into their negative emotions that we really can't get anything rational. We really can't get anything logical accomplished, and it's kind of frustrating because I see it a lot. I see it even in my homeboys, even in people that. Very well. 625. And right now, right, that's not what we need. Is in order. I think it's good for us to get along, and I think it's good for us to embrace and recognize each other from all sides of the political spectrum, instead of saying, well, you know, I'm a conservative and you're a weak ass beta boy. Intersectional feminist alphabet crew type, and therefore you decided to make yourself the enemy of all things masculine and all masculine men, and so therefore we're polarizing each other. Or, you know, I'm a beta boy, you know, Democrat, leftist, liberal, simp, product of the gynocracy, plantation, bro. Thank you. Have a good weekend. All right. So I don't want to talk to you because you're a knuckle-dragging hell passport brow who actually to enjoy life. We don't need that polarization right now. We need to play both sides of the aisle. The conservatives need to embrace the liberals, and it's fun embracing liberals. As long as they maintain. But the attitude is hostile. The attitude among all is very hostile. We are being played as a society, black, white, everyone. We're being played against each other. On our emotions, on our identities, be they racial or social or ethnic or whatever, political identity, on our gender, on our sexual affiliation or orientation, on all of those means. And this is not a good time for people of good character. This is a very challenging time for people of good character. Very challenging indeed. We're going to make it through. I'm going to go live tonight. I'm going to go live this evening. Here we are at noon. So the sun is right overhead. And I'm going to discuss a few concepts that people don't think about very often, very frequently. Headed back up north, leaving San Diego. Well, is your point? What is your list? In a manner that is not necessarily travel enthusiast. Shout out to my man. Let's evolve a little bit, right? As brothers, talk to each other without talking at each other, without fighting each other, without feeling as though anyone who represents a different political position than you is your enemy simply for doing so. I think we can do better. I really think we can do better. And we need to get rid of the combativeness. See, one thing that black men in our society are known for is fighting each other. Right? Too much jealousy, too much envy, too much conflict, too much braggadocio, always trying to puff your chest out, declare yourself equal to the brother that's trying to pull you up. Instead of just accepting the help and being humble and doing the job and understanding that you're in an arena where someone else is shining. And you will be in an arena where you can shine when you are in your own arena. You see, people of other cultures are capable of ceding to the person who has the greatest knowledge, or the person who has the money and who's paying the paycheck for everybody. People have therefore developed an ability to form hierarchies, to organize themselves into hierarchies, and therefore they can get things done. They can accomplish things together like a pile of ants, like an ant pile, an ant colony. But when everyone in the community tries to be so alpha that they're personally insulted and they're insecure when they encounter someone who is of a superior intellect or even of a competent intellect, doesn't matter, right? I mean, everybody starts, oh, I studied this and I learned that. That doesn't mean that someone who hasn't studied what you have studied does not have a valid opinion. And, you don't have to whip out your resume and show off your credentials and do the, what do you say, appeal to authority, logical fallacy. Simply because someone else is intelligently expressing an opinion that you don't agree with. And that's what I find too much of on these internet streets, especially among black men. Too much petty, childish, ego-centered bullshit. How wonderful. And so we can't shine together because we can't respect each other enough to allow each other to have the floor and to allow good conversation to flourish. Because it's really all about who said the smartest thing that was said, not whether or not the conversation is progressing in an intelligent direction or in an interesting direction, which should really be what the goal, which is what the goal should really be, especially on YouTube, right? You have a show, you invite people on, you want the conversation to be interesting and intelligent, you want people to like the show, you want people to give super chats and everything else. It doesn't necessarily have to be an echo chamber. Actually, the conversation is more interesting if there is diversity among the opinions, you see. But the moment someone points out that you may have a defeatist attitude, toward your masculine rights and responsibilities because you succumbed to the gynocracy or you succumbed to the matriarchy, well, take it on the chin and keep talking to the brother that's trying to open your eyes to it, instead of saying that it's hopeless for you because it's hopeless for me. And since I couldn't accomplish being a patriarch, being a black patriarch, then the black patriarchy simply doesn't exist. And so therefore, you shouldn't entertain yourself with that. I think I've even heard Ethnic Signifier use the term white patriarchy. That's so sad. That is such a plantation mentality. That is a mentality that comes from believing the bullshit that we were just savages that were civilized by the white man. And so we didn't have any family structures. We were just running around the jungle with bones in our noses and paint on our faces chasing zebras. And we didn't know that man had a place and the woman had a place with reference to each other. And that, we hadn't developed that patriarchal family structure like the Asians and Europeans and natives of all the other corners of the earth have. No. We were way too subhuman for that. So if you're trying to be a patriarch, then that means you're imitating white patriarchy, because there is no such thing, because black man is not sophisticated enough to develop such a thing as patriarchy. Oh, and by the way, the patriarch has all of the worst attributes of what Europeans have represented toward us since colonialization. So simply by virtue of being a patriarch, oh, you're a racist, you're a sexist, you're an oppressor, you're an abuser, you're a this, you're a that, you're the other thing. And that's so sad. Sad. I think we can do better. I think we can do better, and I'm hoping that we can do better. Now, I'm complaining, but to be honest, I haven't gone live frequently enough lately. And I know, I apologize for that for you guys. I've been very busy. I'm building 17 websites right now. 7-0, yes. It's what I need to do to express myself properly on the internet. It's what I need to do to bring in the traffic that I need to bring in for my businesses. First, the internet infrastructure. And all of my websites are video websites, primarily. And then I create video, film video products to embed into the pages of the websites. brand new high occupancy lane on the 15 freeway, taking you straight from San Diego up to the Los Angeles area. Actually, it takes you straight to where I live, Rancho Cucamonga area. Beautiful. It's been a wonderful rainy year this year, and we're going to get even more rain very soon. This weekend is going to be pretty. Right now it's 63 degrees. I'm trying to get as far north as I can before 1 o'clock. From what I understand, at 1 p.m. on Friday is when the rush hour starts on the 15 freeway. So this is what I envision. Everyone wants to know what my vision is, right? Good. I'll tell you. Forming the Black American Party, because I want us to start adjusting our paradigm. One, to take on the paradigm of self-sufficiency. We are at a point in technological development in the world where we can utilize the advances of technology to empower ourselves to live off grid. That's not a small thing. That's a big deal. To live off grid, to put up solar panels and generate solar energy, or windmills, or water turbines if you have access to running water. That's good. If you're able to capture energy and store it, if you're able to dig a well and get water, put it into a water tower, if you're able to irrigate land, and grow your own food to be self-sufficient, then I think that's a very important thing to do. Now, it's not glamorous. No, it's not glamorous. I wouldn't even lie to you about that. It's dirty work, it's hard work, it's tiring work, and it doesn't end at 5 o'clock. You sometimes have to work until you just go to bed. I like it when I'm working that passionately and something. I like to be that passionate about life in general, to be honest with you. But in the end, you can hold your nuts because you don't depend on anyone for anything. You know that at the end of the day, you provide yourself your own shelter, you provide your own food, you provide your own energy for living, and you provide something for which the public will pay you so that you have a little cash that you can buy everything else that you need with, right? So, if we can establish that as the new cool, in other words, instead of looking for a luxury life with, the accoutrements of name brandness to show off in front of people who we don't know and don't like, things that we can't afford. We buy the trucks, not the Beamers and the Benzes. We buy the pickups and the SUVs, and we develop our land. We go out and homestead, drag a trailer home or a prefabricated home, whatever you want to call it, modular home, out to the desert or out to your open piece of land, and you put it up, dig a septic tank, do all of that, dig your water well, set up your solar farm and or wind farm to harness your energy, and lay your infrastructure, right? Lay your sewage pipes, lay your water pipes, lay your, if you're going to use gas, if you're going to use fiber optic, you're going to want to have some communication going on with the outside world. Do this, and then start putting up residences. Now, one way to get started with this is by glamping, and I've been looking at Keep It Tiny. Shout out to Keep It Tiny, another really good channel, talking about the glamping business, glamour camping, and that's something that I've been thinking about because of the Biometrics Health Center. I wanted to open up a wellness resort center on a piece of land that I can purchase and have people come out and get hyperbaric oxygen therapy and pulse electromagnetic field therapy and neurofeedback therapy and all of the various therapies that we can offer. And then once you have yourself established, where you don't have to rely, you can be off grid, basically, right? Where you don't have to rely on the system. Then you can hold your nuts and talk shit. Then you can actually wield power in the world. Then we can start to form food co-ops where you grow enough of everything to feed your family and a surplus of one or two other things. But that which you grow in surplus, we bring to one solid location. Let's call it a grocery store. And everyone who contributes to the grocery store can shop for free forever for their families. And that's that's how you combine grassroots liberalism with true conservatism, because you're actually providing for yourself. It's all about self-reliance. Number one, self-reliance. Number two, thinking of ourselves not only as Americans, because we are Americans, but as international citizens. What made the Black Wall Street experiment a threat, the Rosewood community a threat, was the fact that they had already begun doing international commerce. Okay, we have to think that way, right? We have been thinking of ourselves as the product of America, the subjects of America, and the property of the United States of America for far too long. We have been thinking inside the bubble of the United States, which is really too small. And to be honest with you, the bubble of what we know of as the world is also too small. So in order for us to truly establish a nation within a nation, and I don't just mean black as in African American people, I mean all of us cool people want to return to the gold standard and gold and silver standard, who want to return to solid currency, who want to return to a sensible way of life, who don't want our children's minds corrupted by garbage and poison, who don't want the social ills that plague our community to be recycled into the future by having it pumped into having the mores and values of destructiveness and disrespect and criminality and violence and sexual excess pumped into the ears of our children, so that they end up glorifying being criminals and gangsters and, you know, having guns and going to jail and all the rest of that, so that they end up continuing the cycle into the future. That's the purpose of the party, right? To stop the defamation of our community and of our culture. Between San Diego. So that's the plan, right? And of course, that's going to require patriarchy. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because an independent homestead, independent, as they call it in France, right? An independent chateau, which means a home, farm, a self-sufficient land unit to support a family for many generations, right? You need a lot of masculine energy. You need the balance of both masculine and feminine energy. And you need freedom from the redefinition of society, the redefinition of culture that is being thrust upon us by the mainstream media. You need to disconnect completely from the mainstream media. In fact, the ultimate accomplishment that we're searching for, that we're shooting for, is to be able to produce our own medium. To produce the news to our own people, and to provide our own entertainment. I get touched up. I get a little touched when I think about it. I'm just kidding. So shout out to my son Yvonne in Spain, to my daughter Katie in Philly. You guys are all welcome to come back to Cali. Go to college, do what you gotta do what you wanna do. I'll do whatever. Axles on this baby. Headed uphill at 80 miles an hour on cruise control. She's doing it nice and smooth. This is a good beater, right? It's a good car for beating up for work. For work and play. So I hope you guys have a good weekend this weekend. I certainly intend to. Well, it looks like I've frozen here. I don't know if you can still see me, but my video screen seems to have been frozen here on YouTube Studio. I think I'm going to have to cut this one short because my video seems to have frozen. And I'm going to check and see if what I see is what's really on YouTube when I get to my home. So, but thank you for watching. I will be going live later on tonight.